All right. So unless you guys have any more objections, no? We're good to go?
Good to go.
Motion carried.
Motion carried.
Hi, I'm Rachel Nannon Brown.
Hello, I'm Dr. Richard Carrier.
Peter Boghossian.
Hi, I'm Damian Gillis.
Hi, this is Wanda Morris.
I'm Dr. Darrell Ray.
Hi, I'm R.N. Ra, and I took a left at the Valley.
And the party was really good.
I know we shouldn't have to scream that we're atheists. You know, we don't have non-astrologers and all that. But with the religious people taking over the world, I mean, we can either speak up or be pushed into a corner.
I'm proud to be an atheist, a skeptic, a non-believer, an infidel, a heathen. I call it how I see it. I say it's ignorance and you just call it faith and unsubstantiated claims. That's something to be ashamed. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist.
From your favorite set of exaggeration, this is Left of the Valley. My name is Kevin, and I don't do push-ups, I push the earth back. Joining me as usual is the team that if they were to visit the dark side of the moon, it would no longer be dark. Our friend Nancy, whose sharks have a week dedicated to her.
Absolutely.
And our friend Kevin, who once made a weeping willow laugh.
It did. It died laughing.
Guys, welcome back. Hope you guys had a good week.
Yeah, it was an interesting week. A lot of stuff going on. I'm sure we'll cover some of it in our
usual
conversations today.
Yeah, usual chit-chat.
I'm ready.
We got to start talking about Arnold Palmer died.
He did. What an icon.
Totally. If there's one man that brought golf to the mainstream, that's the man.
It was. I'm trying to think if I saw him play golf one time. My father loved playing golf and was an avid watcher of golf. And we lived in Dallas at the time, and they had a tournament. And I'm just trying to think if Arnold was one of those guys that was filled with all the luminaries. So possibly, maybe, unless I hallucinated, I may have actually seen him in person, but maybe not.
Well, for the audience I might not know, Nancy has done absolutely everything there is to do on the planet. She's done it all, so I'm sure she's seen Arnold Palmer and probably played with him too.
No, didn't play with him.
Did you guys also take in the Royals? They were in BC. You care?
No. Well, it's kind of cool that they came, but no, I'm a busy guy. I have no time for that.
I love the pictures of the kids. The children are so sweet, regardless of where you stand in terms of the Royals. You got to enjoy the kids. They were just little kids. They don't know.
Absolutely, and it's surprising how many people still follow the Royals. It's always a big thing whenever they come.
And what was that princess who was very, very smitten with Trudeau? Did you see that picture?
No.
Yeah, what's princess? I can't remember.
You mean the child?
No. One of the teenager or late early mid 20s maybe. I'm not sure. Really young one. Anyway,
a British princess?
Yeah, one of the ones that came over with the royal family, I think.
Well, it can't be a princess. There's only 2 kids and they're like toddlers, both of them.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're just making stuff up, aren't you?
No. I saw it. It was there.
There was also Monday. I don't know if you guys watched it. I tried as best as I could. The Trump-Hillary debate.
Watched it all the way through
Did
with
you?
a friend. With a friend.
Oh,
that
God.
was I needed the emotional support.
You're a better person than
I know I am, and
guys, can we avoid
and
this
another
topic, please?
and another way to prove it. Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think of the word to use. It
disturbing, disgusting, disappointing.
Years of therapy.
No, it was amazing because it for the first time it was a chunk of entertainment, not really good reality entertainment, but it was entertainment.
Interesting enough, the first half of the debate, Donald Trump actually had Hillary on the ropes there. He actually did, especially when he brought the trades deals and all that, and he basically said to her in one line, "You've had 30 years to fix this, and you haven't done shit. What are you waiting for?" And I thought, oh my God, is this Donald Trump unleashing? And all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, he actually looked pretty good there. And then after that it turned into, Hillary pointed out his business record, and then it went into personal attack on both sides. So a lot of people say, the pundits anyway, are saying Trump was strong in the first half, Hillary was strong in the second half. Overall, she won, but not with a unanimous
I think
vote.
she won. I don't think Trump to disagree a little bit, I don't think Trump had her on the ropes, because I think the time that she took to prepare, she knew, and her campaign advisors all know, that he was going to do his best to get under her skin, because he's got nothing in terms of informed, information on policy procedure. He didn't practice. There was nothing there except attack. Mm-hmm. So that was all he could do.
Yeah, absolutely. And either way, it just shows how in trouble our American friends in the South really are with their politicians.
No, I think Hillary's going to pull it out. Oh. I do. It's tight. But
I'm less optimistic than you are.
I hope Obama does martial law down there. That would be better.
Don't feed the conspiracy theories. There's enough of that.
No,
he's been coming for the guns for 8 years now, too.
No, I'm with her. I think she's going to pull it out.
I agree.
I had last weekend after the show, I had somebody approach me from an interfaith group, and they wanted me to go to their interfaith meeting, and I did. Now, Nancy, you've been to some of those before.
Oh, I was on the planning committee for one of them. Absolutely.
They had an interfaith meeting. They sold it to me as, why don't you come and explain to us what atheism is? Mm-hmm. So I kind of went there with that in mind. But it turned out this whole meeting was nothing more than, feel good. Let's all be friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it was not at all what I expected. I thought I have no business here at all.
Was there like proselytizing and everything?
Well, not even that much. So much of that. There was, of course, every group was trying to proselytize a bit. Like the guy that was trying to explain to me why he had a wooden cross, because I just love to mock Christians with that. They have a cross around their neck, and I look at them and says, "What's with the T?" That drives them nuts. That really drives them nuts. And then they have to explain to them, a Jesus of Nazareth, like I've never heard of him. And, I like to play dumb in that situation. Oh, is that so? Right. But the whole thing was built by some guy from India, and he was just telling his life story, essentially. And after 2 hours of this, it was just a waste of time, in my opinion. I didn't get a chance at all.
Well, when I was on the planning planning commission, I just elevated myself. But when the interfaith group was sponsored by the Abbotsford Community Center, I helped plan, and it really was more of a diverse conversation. And what we would do every month is we'd have a topic: marriage, family, children, things like that, and then we'd have a discussion, and then the discussion would break up into groups where everybody could talk about how their particular orientation or faith or lack of faith added to that particular topic. But since they are no longer with the Abbotsford Community Center, I think that it's become a little more theistic, if I'm not mistaken. So
I got the impression they were trying to reboot that, because it was at the Abbotsford Community Center I went, but it was some of the stories in there. I had to leave after a while. I mean, there was, for example, I'm not going to name the person, but there was an imam there, and he's telling the story how they're saying how family's important, and then he tells the story of how so-called friend of his had his son take a watermelon and cut it open and then wrap it up with a white cloth so it looks like it's a bleeding head.
Okay.
And then he has his son going to his friend's door, says, "I'm going to show you that your friends don't have your back." So he's knocking on his friend's door, and the guy opens the door and he sees what essentially he thinks is a decapitated head in his friend's hand. He just slams the door, and then he says, "Well, now let's take it to your uncle, who we haven't seen in 20 years. And the uncle takes him in. And his point was that family has your back. And I had to stand up. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. First of all, I think that story is bupkis. And that's a horrible story to tell. Because essentially what you're saying there is, no matter what blood says, you're willing to house a psychopath. I mean, that person could have been a vicious killer, but hey, blood's important, And,
that's scary.
I know, and everybody in there, except for me, is nodding in agreement. "Oh yeah, that's such a powerful and good story." Blah blah. And I'm saying, what are you guys thinking here? I says, we live in a society of laws now. The tribalism of the past should remain in the past, and of course, family ties are a strong instinct that we have. But society is trying to make us see today that society as a whole has become our family. So we really shouldn't be going from, just a whole family unit. And I know in some cultures that's still very, very strong.
Oh, it's interesting to ponder that. It's like, well, that guy's point basically was
Yeah.
blood is thicker than watermelon.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to speak about humanism or atheism at all?
No, I didn't. I've, like I said, most of the time it was like kumbaya. And after 2 hours of that, I left. I said, like, look, there's no reason for me to be here because I could have refuted every single point that every one of them would have put in there, but I was just holding my tongue because I would have said, you guys would have just hated me by the end of the evening. But, it was a whole bunch of woo the whole time.
Yeah, like you were saying last week, it's really hard to convince somebody who already believes that they're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's a shame, I think, from the point of view of the type of interfaith committee that I was a part of, because it was much more open and everyone talked about different aspects of their faith or lack of their, and we had a definite part in being able to enhance the conversation in a number of ways.
Yeah, well, I went there with the idea that I wanted to dispel the myth of atheism and explain to them how an atheist actually thinks without, trying to be respectful as much as possible about their stupid beliefs. And, not pointing out, but saying, okay, this is how we would look at it. And, we're not the baby eaters that you think we are. Not at all. We're actually seculars, we're science-minded and all that. But I didn't get a chance to do that at all because it was just nothing but a big kumbaya fest. So,
well, that's disturbing because from the way it was described, I thought you were invited, or some of us were invited in order to be able to have a little time to explain our, as they put it, worldview. But it looks like it was a rather restricted.
Yeah, I even took our friend Deb that was here a couple of shows ago with me, and she's a Wiccan. So I thought, for example, that it would be interesting to add a Wiccan like that. She's not an atheist like us, she's a Wiccan. But anyway, I don't know, maybe they'll change. Maybe I'll give it a second shot if they have another one. But I thought it was a big waste of time.
That's a good thing you went, though.
Yeah.
Your presence, your presence, I'm sure, was appreciated.
Yeah. And, of course, on a happier note, also...
We sing happy birthday
Well, it's a birthday girl here today.
We do have the birthday girl one day early, but the birthday girl a day early.
Happy birthday, dear.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're 29 now, right?
29 and holding. Holding a little tighter than usual, but holding. But thank you.
Last year I got you a box of chocolate, and I completely forgot to do it again this year. I'm so sorry.
No. Just take me out for dinner, dancing, and a movie, and a play, and redo my entire apartment, and you'll be forgiven.
Oh, jeez.
Keep the dogs for a couple of days. Yeah.
Well, there might not be a show next week because I'll be busy redoing your apartment.
Other than that, just the birthday wishes, just the remembrance is great. Thanks.
Happy birthday,
Good to
Nancy.
be here. Thanks.
To the woman that's done absolutely everything around.
The first time I've had my birthday with two Kevins. That's great.
Yeah. Right on. It's a good name.
Yeah, we could two Kevins and the birthday girl. We could start an act with that, couldn't we?
That's awesome. I want to ask you how old you're turning because, it's not polite to do such a thing.
80.
Oh, my God.
Wow. That's a lot of experience right there.
Yeah, the leap from holding at 29 to 80 is just beyond the precipice, isn't it?
Just so you have 80, you have 29 with several years of experience.
That's right.
That's always my line, and I'll stick to it.
I like that one.
You ready to go, dear?
I'm ready to go.
For this day
in my new old phase of life, here we go. This day in history, which is a roundup of those events and people that alter and illuminate the days between September the 26th to October the 2nd. Oh, October the 2nd. I always call it October the 2nd. Okay, September the 27th was World Tourism Day. So, given a chance, Mr. Kevin and Mr. Kevin, where in the world would you guys want to go?
Oh my God. Where to start? I have a pact with the forces of nature that I will not die before I see Africa.
Oh, good choice.
So that's the last place I'm going before I die.
There you go.
I want to see the primal nature of Africa.
Yeah.
If there's anything left.
And there's not a lot of people on Easter Island, so I would go there.
Oh, two excellent choices. Yeah.
I don't see how people. I know down here there's a lot of Caucasians. A lot of people have this fascination with Ireland and Scotland, and I frankly don't see the appeal.
No, you want to go to where people are not like you.
Well, there's not even a lot of history there.
Yeah.
There's really not much to see besides sheep.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
I mean, it'd be like me being French Canadian. Well, all of a sudden, I absolutely need to go to France. Well, of course, I'd like to see Paris and France, of course, but it's not the one destination I really need to be at. So I don't understand why everybody wants to go to Ireland.
Yeah, no, I think Africa and Easter Island would be two places on my list as well. Yeah. On September the 27th in 1905, the physics journal Annalen der Physik published Albert Einstein's paper, Does the Inertia of a Body Depend Upon Its Energy Content? And it introduced the equation which we all know as E equals mc squared. We've come a long way in physics since that equation, haven't we?
What year was that?
Yeah. And I always like...
What year was that?
1905.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to do the show because I can look right above your head, Kevin, and see that wonderful portrait of
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein, looking down on us every week.
Adds a bit of intellect to my apartment. It's sorely needed.
No, it's great to say, hi Al, every week. 1908. Henry Ford's first Model T automobile left the plant in Detroit, Michigan. 1937. This is still on September 27th. 1937. This is really going back. In 1937, the first Santa Claus training school opened in Albion, New York, and it was Charles W. Howard who started it, and it's still going on today as the oldest continuously run Santa school in the world. And they learn how to do their ho-ho-hos and how to deal with children and how to answer questions so parents don't freak out, and how to, grow your own beard. So it is an absolute training.
You can learn
school.
how to do that.
You can learn how to do that, so that when the kids pull it, it doesn't come off and and snap back.
No, you can just feel the pain of having hair
Feel the
pulled out of your
pain.
chin.
Yeah, exactly. 1962, Rachel Carson published Silent Spring about the deleterious impacts pesticide has on the U.S. environment. We still haven't learned that lesson, that's for sure. But it was a great book, and it caused a great deal of consternation when it came out. A lot of conversations. 1998, Google was launched. Thank you, Google.
How do we live before Google?
We didn't. We merely existed. We waited till Google to show us what life is really like.
I'm so old. I actually have 2 encyclopedias in my library over there.
We've come a long way since the plow.
Yeah. When you go to Google and they have those little cartoons, do you ever click on the cartoons and see what's going on?
I have once in a while. I know sometimes they move, sometimes they do things.
Those little Google things are so cute. Anyway, moving on to September the 28th. It was, and this is a great day. September the 28th, International Right to Know and Ask a Stupid Question Day.
Oh, geez, that's my day.
It was, and it actually was started by a teacher who said there is no such thing as a stupid question because it always leads to knowledge. Don't be afraid to ask.
She obviously was never my teacher.
A lot of inquisitive idiots, however.
Yeah.
see how he's looking at me when say that?
That's right.
Inquisitive idiots want to know.
Yeah, in 1928, on that day, the first recording was made in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was made by Paul Warmack and the Gully Jumpers. The Gully Jumpers were an American old-time string band, and when you go to listen, it's just amazing because it's like you're listening to something that's way far out in the field, and you're trying to listen through one of those trumpets. But they're the type of string band that was really popular back then, and actually lasted through the 40s. The really old-fashioned, old-time Western Grand Ole Opry type of bands. And they actually lasted until the late 20s. And even though their lineup changed over the years, they continued to perform until the mid-60s. Anybody interested can go on YouTube and look up Paul Womack and the Gully Jumpers. And
I love
it's
that
a
name,
treat.
the Gully Jumpers.
The Gully Jumpers, I know. You're going to do Western bands and Grand Ole Opry, you got to have a good name.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. September the 29th, Inventors Day in Argentina. And in 1995, atheist leader Madalyn Murray O'Hair was murdered in Texas during a kidnapping and extortion scheme. She was 29 and holding, still back there. She was 76 at the time of her death, and she was best known for the lawsuit which led to the landmark Supreme Court ruling ending government-sponsored prayer in American public schools. And, of course, she founded the group called
American Atheist.
There you go, and that's why we put her into the show today, to have a little homage to Madalyn Murray O'Hair, because our speaker is in the direct line
Yes.
of being the director.
We have David Silverman coming up. He's awesome.
I'm really looking forward to that. In 1964, Life magazine referred to Madalyn Murray O'Hair as the most hated woman in America. And she was a heroine to so many people that I knew who were coming out to be humanists and atheists and starting the movement back in the 60s. She was a lightning rod for sure, especially, with the no God in the school controversy. Mm-hmm. September the 30th, this is funny coming right after the 29th, but September the 30th is now Blasphemy Day. So you've got Madalyn Murray O'Hair and Blasphemy Day right after each other. At the International Blasphemy Day, which is becoming more popular in different places. Each various cities now are starting their own day. I think Victoria is the latest to have a Blasphemy Day. And the day encourages individuals and groups to openly express criticism of religion and do away with blasphemy laws. And it was founded in 2009 by the Center for Inquiry.
Our friends at CFI.
Sacre bleu.
So,
Isn't that my job to swear in French?
yeah.
Oh, sorry. You're rubbing off on me.
In 1990, on the 30th, the Dalai Lama unveiled the Canadian Tribute to Human Rights in Ottawa, and the controversial drawings of Muhammad are printed in the daily newspaper that led to eventually Charlie, what's the newspaper?
Charlie Hebdo.
Charlie Hebdo, yeah, being bombed and so forth. But it's still against the Muslim. My tongue is just going all over the place. Against the law to have any pictures of Muhammad in cartoons, or to have any cartoons against.
There's still fatwas against people that.
That's
do
right.
these things.
October the 1st is World Vegetarian Day and the start of Women's History Month. So we'll have to find some.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll have to find some exciting women to honor in October for sure. 1908, Ford put the Model T car on the market at a price of, this is 1908, $825. And that was expensive back then.
Yeah.
And there was only one color, black.
Black, that was it.
Best color ever.
Any color you want, as long as it's black, I think used to be the motto. Yeah. 1957 was the first appearance of God We Trust on U.S. paper currency.
Now that's important to know, because a lot of Americans have a tendency to think that it's been there forever.
It's not. It was like One Nation Under God came in the same 50s, and because of the Cold War and because of the encroachment of what people felt was communism and
The
things
godless
like that.
communists need to be fought. So we'll put in God we trust on our money. That's going to do anything.
That's right. That was the McCarthy era, and so a lot of those things were cropped that are still, unfortunately, with us. And October the 2nd is the International Day of Nonviolence, and because it's October the 2nd, is due to the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. So it's happy to share the day with Mahatma Gandhi.
She's the reincarnation of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, both little old skinny people. It must be little old skinny people day, for sure.
I wonder about that. Would it be possible for an atheist to be in Mahatma Gandhi's position and like bring all those people together under no religion?
That's a good question. We'll have to find
Good
out.
question. I think maybe we'll be able to find out in the future, since the religion is waning and secularism is coming up, to be more popular in many countries. We'll have to see. I think it's a possibility. Mm-hmm. And that, dear listeners, brings us to a close of another passing parade of interesting, mundane, unusual, and occasionally bizarre events and people that make up this day in history.
Thank you very much, Nancy. And before we go to commercial break, let's quickly do a...
Things that make you go,
You were just talking about International Blasphemy Day. So I do have that. She stole my fire almost, right?
Oh.
Victoria City Council has declared September 30th, like you said, as International Blasphemy Right Day in the city. In many countries, the right to disbelieve is not protected, and in some, religious apostasy can be met with punishment. Our friend Ian Bushfield, Ian, the director of the BC Humanist Association, asked Council to approve the proclamation several months ago. It seemed like a bit of a distant issue for us here in Canada, he says, but then there are these real issues going on around the world. Countries such as Jordan and Ireland, for example. We also wanted to draw attention to the fact that Canada does have its own blasphemy laws. It's true, in Section 296 of the Criminal Code of Canada states, everyone who publishes a blasphemous libel is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. This is right here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So the law hasn't been used or lay a charge since 1980, since over the Monty Python film The Life of Brian.
Oh.
That was the last time they used that law. But Bushfield said that it's troubling that the criminal code, it's in the criminal code at all. We're hoping the federal government will repeal the law, and the repeal is more of a cleaning up the old element of... exactly so. So it's all about getting rid of the law, and they're hoping to do that soon.
I hope so, or I'm in trouble.
Wouldn't there be a disconnect between free speech and blasphemy laws?
I think so too.
Yeah.
And especially blasphemy, it's such a victimless crime. Boo-hoo, God can take a joke? Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't incite anybody to riot. It's not like, screaming fire in a crowded room. I wonder if that's the issue that Ian has. I should read up on it a little bit more and see if it's the free speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And in other interesting news, in news that will make you question everything you thought or you knew about movies, Banana Man, Ray Comfort, just won Best Science Film at the International Christian Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
For his movie, The Atheist Delusion.
Oh.
So why is this the best science film? Well, the only time science, air quote, appears in the movie is when Comfort asks random people how DNA could have possibly evolved on its own. A rhetorical question that he believes point out to the truth of intelligent design. Any thoughts on this? Ray Comfort? This is where I wish we had the Eli Bosnick.
No, but it would be like under the fantasy category, I guess. But it's nice. It's nice to know, that they can say, "Well, yes, we have science and religion, and here's the award that we gave to Ray Comfort to prove it."
Yeah, that's one of those things that make you go, when Ray Comfort wins the science award for his movie.
Well, it's the only one. It's the only one he'll ever get. I hope he enjoys it.
Yeah, exactly.
From the Christian Film Festival.
Thank you, guys, and we'll be right back right after this.
Hi, I'm the Supreme Irreverend Dr. Randy Tyson from the Legion of Reason Diversion. Join me and my co-hosts, Christine Shelska, Twyla, and Nate Phelps, as we explore issues at the intersection of atheism, humanism, and skepticism. Topics range from alternative medicine to the interference of religion in public policy. We often have special guests to help us understand the topic du jour. Previous guests include biologist Jerry Coyne, ex-Muslim author Ali Rizvi, philosopher Peter Boghossian, and the late physicist Victor Stanger. You can watch us on the Legion of Reason YouTube channel or subscribe to the audio version through your favorite podcatchers such as iTunes or Stitcher. And don't forget to like the Legion of Reason Facebook page.
What is secular humanism?
Critical thinking.
Knowledge is freedom. Freedom from ignorance and its offspring, fear.
The BC Humanist Association has been active in the Vancouver area for over 25 years. We offer a friendly and welcoming place to make new friends, as well as free educational lectures. We invite you to join us any Sunday at 10 a.m. in the Oak Ridge Senior Center. Please visit our website for more details, bchumanist.ca.
Now, I am absolutely convinced that the main source of hatred in the world is religion and organized religion. Absolutely convinced of that. And I think it should be religion treated with ridicule.
And we're back. I love Christopher. I miss him. You know, we'll have to do a spotlight on Madeleine Murray here for sure.
There's a lot there. She was a force. She was a force of nature. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you know, it's just the anniversary of her death and all that. Maybe in the next show we'll try to do a spotlight on her. But for now, I do have another brilliant moment brought to you by religion. Oh yes, the weird and wacky world of religion. I do have a couple of stories for you guys. I'm hoping to get your opinion. Did you guys know that there's a soccer team of a Christian high school in Arizona? They decided to forfeit a game rather than play their opponents. Why? Because the team included girls.
They just didn't want to lose, did they?
Apparently. Faith Christian School in Mesa, Arizona, chose to forfeit rather than face Foothill Academy College Prep, whose team has 2 female players.
Oh my gosh.
The rationale, according to comments from Faith Christian Administrative Leader Dick Buckingham in the Arizona Republic, is that sports just aren't the place for things like equality and honor. Really? I had no idea.
Oh.
I know it appears to fly in the face of what everyone is wanting to promote today, and that is equality. It is based on a religious perspective that God created guys and girls differently. We want to teach our men that honor of ladies is just not in sports.
When was this?
This is actually fairly recent, a couple weeks ago.
Oh my goodness.
Foothills Academy does not have a separate girls team. They benched their 2 female players in the game earlier this season, where their opponents refused to play against the girls, but this time they voted to play with the girls or not at all. Good for them for doing so. And any thoughts?
I guess regressive is the word that comes to mind. I mean, you really have to. What are you telling these boys, you know, in terms of how to deal with other people in the world once they get out of their bubble? Yeah. You know, how are they going to react when they have a woman boss? How are they reacting if any of them are 18 to vote for a woman for president? You know, this affects so much more than just sports, doesn't it?
Oh, totally.
It's a metaphor for, you know, how they're going to deal with the world, and we used the word scary before. I'm going to use it again. It's scary.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it could stem from like that, you know, the old wisdom for guys, anyways, never to hit a woman. Maybe they felt uncomfortable tackling a woman.
Well, it's soccer. You're not supposed to be tackling.
Oh, I thought it was
anyway.
football.
Yeah, hold on a sec. No, it's soccer, yeah.
Oh, soccer, yeah, kick away.
It's soccer. And also, you know, it kind of makes you wonder, what happens to these guys when they're men and they're going out to the bar or something like that, and they want to play a game of pool, and there's a woman.
Wait a minute, these are nice evangelical Christian boys. They're not at the bar having beer.
You're right.
They're at the.
They're snorting coke.
They're at the community center having
a line of coke.
Having a Coca-Cola.
No, you're right. Nobody believes that. What if their dealer's a woman? What then? You know?
I'll have a glass of milk, please.
Okay, well, I have another story. Hold on, where is it? Did you guys hear about Abolish Abortion Florida?
No.
Pray tell.
This is an evangelical Christian group. They're just not moving to the right of Donald Trump. They're jumping off the edge. They're calling for a ballot measure in 2018 that would treat all abortion providers and receivers as complicit in first-degree murder. which in Florida would make him also eligible for the death penalty.
Have they ever heard of there's a little document called the Constitution. I don't know whether they've ever heard of it in Florida, even South Florida or not, but abortions are legal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they launched a ballot initiative to amend the state's constitution to punish abortion as capital murder. Under the proposed amendment, anyone who performs or procures an abortion would be charged with first-degree premeditated murder.
Wow.
They could do it, but it would be overturned in a nanosecond, I would assume. Don't you?
I would think so, too. According to the AAFL, which is, of course, the Abolish Abortion Florida, the idea is not only to collect enough signatures to get it to the measure of the 2018 ballot, but also to encourage legislator to begin putting forward legislation to abolish abortion instead of merely regulating it. The Supreme Court cannot make a murder legal, is what they're saying. Pro-life politicians have passed incremental regulations for decades, but it's time to abolish abortion by recognizing for what it is, cold-blooded murder, and prosecuting it accordingly. They're pro-life and want to see women to get abortion executed. In case you need more proof that Christians are hypocrites, I don't know.
Yeah, these are the same people who say that, like, they should be given up for adoption, and yet there's like countless kids in orphanages that nobody's adopting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this meme I saw on Facebook, which is great. You know what they say? There's this picture of there's a big protest that says Christians protesting gay marriage, and then there's an empty street underneath that says Christian protesting divorce, and there's nobody there, and it just shows that it's hypocritical.
I wonder if Marco Rubio is the head of, or at least promoting.
It didn't say in there. I have no idea. I'd have to look really, really deeper into that.
Yeah, no, don't. You've gone as far as we need. You don't need to go to those depths. Believe me, that's further than the abyss. Wow. Oh man.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised. It's the South. I could imagine that law anywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line being, and if it's not actually brought into law, I would say that a lot of the legislators believe it and would, if it came, they would promote it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your thoughts on this. Today we have an interview with David Silverman, the president of American Atheist, and let's go to that right now. Okay, my next guest is the firebrand president of American Atheists that most Fox News guests have come to fear. His trademark look of disbelief at his opponent have been made into an iconic meme. He's a snappy dresser and a snazzy dancer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Silverman. Hello, David.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for having me on the show.
See, that's our live audience behind us, sir.
That's our live audience. Hi, live audience.
Dave,
I know an awesome live audience. They really take commands to start and stop well.
Yeah, totally. We pay them in sandwiches.
That's one of many.
Dave, you're obviously extremely well known in the States. You might not be as well known north of the 49th. Would you be so kind to give us the Reader's Digest version of who you are?
So I'm the president of American Atheists, which is America's oldest nonprofit organization in the country. We are the firebrands of the atheist movement. We tell the truth even when it's politically incorrect, and we take the stand that's correct from a compassionate standpoint, but still from a politically correct standpoint. We don't care about that stuff, and that's very effective. And basically, what we're doing is we're leading the movement with the harder edge of the sword, so to speak, to really make it better for atheists in America, to really attack the bigotry against atheists in America, and to call religion on being the scam that it is.
That's fantastic, and I love the way you do things, Dave. I must say, I'm a big fan.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. It's something that's really near and dear to my heart. I've been an activist for 20 years now. I've been president of American Atheists for 6, and I got to tell you, this is it's the greatest job in the world, but also I sleep really well because even though I mean sometimes I get angry and sometimes I raise my fist and pound my fists and the veins pop out of my head, but all the time I know I'm doing good work. All the time I know I'm being the compassionate one. And in many cases, I find myself being far more compassionate than people who call themselves compassionate first.
Well, I will tell you what, David. I'm, of course, as skeptics, we don't like to make predictions, but I will make a prediction that you will be up there as one of the top presidents of American Atheists ever. I will guarantee that.
I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you. That puts me in the company of Madalyn Murray O'Hair,
it certainly does.
Who founded the organization back in 1963. She's the person who took school prayer out of the schools back then, and she founded American Atheists, and I am really, really honored to sit in her chair, frankly.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, up here in Canada, we're in Abbotsford, which is actually the Bible Belt of Canada, but it's nowhere near as bad as what you guys are facing down there. So I guess the first question is, what is, in your opinion, the state of atheism in the United States right now?
Oh, it's growing. If there's one word I have to say about atheism in America, it's growing. Kevin, I'll tell you a quick story.
Of course.
When I first became an atheist activist 20 years ago, one of the first things that I did was to help create an atheist convention in New Jersey where I live. And I remember that very clearly because we had to look to find a hotel that would allow us to come and pay retail for the space. Okay? We had to go through the effort to find a hotel that would have us. And when we did find a hotel that would have us, not only did they rent us the space at retail price, which is unheard of when you rent a space, of course, but when they did, on the marquee on the front of the hotel, they listed us as AA. And if you called the hotel manager, if you called the hotel front desk and asked if the atheists were there during our convention, the answer was no.
Really?
Okay? And that was in New Jersey, and that was 20 years ago. Last year, we had our convention in Memphis, Tennessee, right in the heart of our Bible Belt, because that's the way I roll. So we put our convention right there in the middle of Memphis, Tennessee. In preparation for that convention, the city of Memphis flew me out. They put me up in a nice hotel. They picked me up from the airport in a limousine. They showed me a good time, Kevin. Damn. They gave me food, they gave me wine, and they gave me the grand tour. And all because they wanted our business. Several hotels vied for our business. The one that got our business, when we walked in, and again, Kevin, this is not for the convention, this is for the tour. Mm-hmm. When we walked in for the tour, the Peabody Hotel had "Welcome American Atheists" projected in huge letters with our logo up above the wall, on the wall for everybody to see.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay? This is what's happened in 20 years.
That's amazing. That's totally amazing, especially in Memphis. Oh my God.
And the reason that's happening is because atheists are coming out of the woodwork and everybody knows it. The reason that's happening is because people know that that there's money here. The reason that that's happening is the fact that atheism, firebrand atheism, works, and that people coming out of the closet makes more people come out of the closet. And as we are coming out faster and faster and more, the people who are coming out as atheists are telling the consumers, or they're telling the businesses, they're telling the cities. When we walked into Memphis for our convention, in the Memphis airport, the banner in the Memphis airport, "Welcome to the American Atheist National Convention."
That's fantastic.
Big letters.
Oh my God.
This is Memphis. And so, I mean, money talks and bullshit walks, if I can swear on your show.
No, absolutely.
And it does. And when you have the numbers that we have, when people are coming out as atheists and not as those euphemisms that nobody knows what they are, free thinker, humanist, secularist, guess what, folks? Nobody knows what those words mean. That's why they're more acceptable. Nobody knows what they mean. I just put up a Facebook message today from somebody who tweeted me, "God made all Christians free thinkers too." Right? So the fact that we're coming out as atheists, the word that people understand, it's giving our weight to ourselves. It's allowing us to throw around the weight that we should legitimately throw around. And we're coming out in droves. And so if we're talking about atheism in America, we're talking about steady increasing growth. We're talking about the fastest growing religious demographic in all 50 states. And we're talking about growing from the young, and that means growing faster and faster.
Well, I totally agree. My next question was to ask if you felt your firebrand was effective, but I think you've answered that question already.
Well, actually, I'm almost going to. I can say I almost prove it. Okay, and I don't like to use the word prove because I have a lot of mathematics in my background. I used to be a professional in market research and statistics. I know that proof is a very, very difficult thing to prove with statistics, but I can show, and I do this in my book, I can show a very high correlation between American atheist firebrand activities and a growth in people calling themselves atheists, a growth in people looking up and studying the word atheist, and a growth in people being more likely to vote for atheists. I can show a correlation, and I can make it strong, and I can show that it's a pretty strong correlation. And I can make the very strong argument that American atheists, with our firebrand activities, is single-handedly impacting this country, and I believe that I believe that American Atheists is the only nonprofit organization in America that can say that we have statistically valid, quantitative, independent correlation for the assertion that American Atheists is single-handedly affecting this country in a positive way. And I can show that in Fighting God.
That's amazing. That's pretty amazing. That's great. Speaking of fighting God, I have your book right here. You just released this. It's very recent.
Yeah.
Tell me, how was it received?
I got to tell you, Kevin, I am thrilled. I am thrilled at this experience. We've sold many, many copies. I'm not allowed to tell you how many, but it is many thousands of copies.
Excellent.
And I can tell you that I am popular in America and Germany and Switzerland and China. And that's a thing. In fact, I'm going back to China. For my third time on the Fighting God book tour next month. I'll say it again. So Fighting God has not been translated into Chinese. It is about the American atheism movement. It's written by an American for Americans, but there's enough people in China who speak English, who are worried about atheism, who have read my book and like my book, to bring me to China 3 times.
That's fantastic, because China is one of those countries where the Christians are pounding their chest as they're doing so much groundwork there, right?
Yes, that's why.
That's fantastic.
That's why, because the Chinese government forced a dogmatic atheism. Atheism was just like religion there. It wasn't about critical thought. It wasn't about coming to a conclusion. It was about just remember there is no God.
That's right.
And so when they released their restrictions, the Muslims and the Christians are start coming in. They're piling into China right now. It's spreading like crazy because there's no critical thought. There's no training. So I am going to China now for the 3rd time, and I'm going to help people put together a charter, a national charter for Chinese atheism, which is a fantastic opportunity for us. And I'm really honored to be part of that. So the book is doing really well. 73% 5-star reviews right now on Amazon. And I think the message is really, really sticking. That firebrand atheism is not only more effective than the so-called nice guy approach, but it is nicer than the nice guy approach.
No, you always claim that.
God. What?
You always claim that, and I want you to elaborate on that. Because I think that's an important message.
I'm always told that I'm the asshole of the movement, right? There's another Dave that I'm friends with, and he and I have a good little. We're friends, but he calls himself. We call him the nice Dave, and I'm the asshole Dave.
Yeah, we're talking about David Smalley, right?
I'm not going to mention names, and no, it's not David Smalley.
Oh, really?
He's a nice guy too, but that's okay. I'm not going to mention names. That's not important. The important thing is that I'm not an asshole. The important thing is that. Sticking your neck out and helping people come away from a scam is a good deed. And if they hate you for it, it's still a good deed. Because when they come out of it, they're going to appreciate it. If your friend is going to a tarot card reader and you sit there and you say, wow, that's wonderful for you, you know you're not doing right by them. You know you're doing wrong by them. The right thing to do for a friend who's into tarot card readings is to sit them down and to teach them what crap it is so that they don't put more money and time into that obvious con. Well, religion's no different. In fact, religion is no different, except it's bigger and takes more money and takes more power from an individual. It splits up families. It has no positive force at all. But we have this problem, we atheists have this problem that we have been indoctrinated by religion into thinking that even when we don't believe, it's bad to criticize religion. And so these other atheists in the movement, and I'm not going to mention any names, I'm not going to mention anything except that they know who they are and you know who you are if you're listening, the ones who say, oh, well, my way is my way and your way is your way, and that's just wonderful, let's have a group hug. Those people are not nice. Those people are careless. Those people are not doing well by the people they're talking to. Those people are allowing the religion to fester in their friends' minds. Those people are not sticking their friends out for their friends. They're allowing their friends to get eaten up by religion, and they know it. They know their friends are being conned. They know their friends are victims of a scam, and they sit by and not only allow it, but legitimize it by saying, that's great for you. And you got your way, and I got my way, and that's fine. And I maintain the statement that that's not nice. That's not nice. It's not considerate. It's not compassionate. These people are injured. They need our help. They need to hear that you don't respect their religion. You respect them. You respect them so much that you're going to tell them to their face the truth, that they're a victim of a scam, a con, and they don't want to hear it, but they need to hear it anyways. And that's the nice thing to do. That's not the easy thing to do. That's not the sweet thing to do. You're not going to get hugs and smiles for it. But you know what? That's not why you do nice things. You do nice things for somebody else's good, even if it means taking it on the chin for yourself, even if it means getting a frown, even if it means getting a word. You take it on and you help somebody free themselves from the lie and the scam that you know they're in. Mm-hmm. That's the nice thing to do. And this is the point that I make in Fighting God. And I say it because and I back my stuff up. If you look at all of the movements that have succeeded, the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, the gay rights movement, they've all had the firebrands and the diplomats. There was always a Malcolm X to Martin Luther King. There was always an ACT UP. There was always the bra burners. They're always there, and they're the ones that make the statements that need to be heard. They're the ones that make the progress. So I make the point in Fighting God that being a firebrand atheist is not only the nicer thing to do, it's the effective thing to do. And in order to make my case, I not only use logic and emotion, but I also use history and good old-fashioned quantitative independent data.
That's fantastic, Dave, and I couldn't agree more. I think you articulated very well what a lot of us have been feeling for a long time, and kudos for doing so. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that, and you know, that was a long rant, and I appreciate you letting me go on for that
That's
rant.
Okay.
But, you know, it's so much nicer to do podcasts other than when I'm not, you know, compared to Fox News, I'm always interrupted. Podcasts, you guys just let me rant, and it's just wonderful. But the Fighting God, the message has been sticking. People have been hearing it, and it's really been a wonderful experience. I just came off the book tour was probably 35 cities in the end, and it was very hectic. But man, I met a lot of fantastic people, and I really, really enjoyed myself, and I really enjoyed the fact that the message is being heard and listened to. And something that I have heard about this book over and over again is that it's different. This is not another God delusion. This is not another end of faith. This is not another God is not great. This is an activist manifesto. This is my way is the right way, and here's why. And I come at it from several different perspectives, and I'm making my points, and people are hearing it, and I'm getting a lot of gratitude and a lot of gratification, I should say, from it.
Yeah, I've got a copy right here in my hand, and I can't wait to crack it open. It's the next one on my list of to read book. And
well, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you coming on here and letting me talk about it. If you do like it, and I hope you do, please put in our review on Amazon and our Goodreads. I need all the reviews I can get. Right now, I'm 73% 5-star reviews, and I love that.
For sure, I will do that for sure. What about the religious people? How have they received your book?
So, the religious people have. There's two kinds of religious people, right? There's the religious people who say they read the book and don't read the book, and they just hate on it. Yeah. So if you look at if you look at the Amazon reviews, there are several 1-star and 2-star reviews, and they're very, very obviously from people who did not read the book.
Yeah, those are astroturfers.
It's what you would expect from somebody who's the president of American Atheists. Sorry. But there are several people, friends of mine, who are religious, who have read the book, who say that it gives them a good perspective on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. A lot of religious people think that, they have the presupposition that atheists are bad because that's what they learn. Atheists are bad, we're evil, we're angry, and then they see me on Fox News, and look at me, I'm the angry atheist from Fox News who's yelling at Hannity or O'Reilly or whoever's on there against me, and it always turns into a scream fest, and I'm good at that, but that's not what I'm about. And the big message is that firebrand atheism is about compassion. It's about being nice, and the theists who read Fighting God see that. They see that I'm not fighting religious people. I'm not even disrespecting religious people. My mother was a religious person. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, they were all religious people. I'm not disrespecting religious people. I'm just disrespecting the hell out of their religion because their religion deserves no respect. And I'm making that definition very clear in Fighting God. And the religious people who I've talked to said they understood that part.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, David. I certainly appreciate the time you've given to us. Is there anything you'd like to be shameless? Go ahead and plug in whatever event is coming your way. Is there a chance we're going to see David Silverman in Canada?
Oh, I would love to come to Canada. I've been to Canada a few times, but I haven't been up there recently. If anybody up there would like to arrange a stop for me on the Fighting God book tour, just to come up and talk about the book, I'd be happy to. American Atheist is at atheists.org, and we are about to announce a 2-for-1 donor match. So anybody who joins or begins to donate as little as $10 a month, that money is doubled for the first year. So please consider donating $10 a month to the only organization in America that has independent quantitative proof, or support, I should say, for the assertion that we are single-handedly changing this country. And that's in Fighting God. By the way, our financials are audited every year by an independent auditing firm and posted on the web because I'm an MBA. I have a businessman, too. The next American Atheist National Convention is next August 19th through 21st. And this is going to be really cool, Kevin, because we moved it off of Easter. We usually have it on Easter weekend. We put it specifically in Charleston, South Carolina, in August 19th through 21st. And we will be finishing off that convention with a total eclipse of the sun. We'll be at night, and we will be so. I mean, this is going to be when I realized that we were going to have a total eclipse. I knew right there that that's where the American Atheist Convention is going to be. We had the largest and best, most fun atheist conventions in the country, and we're going to do it in 2017 in Charleston, South Carolina, and we're going to have a total solar eclipse during our convention. So please mark the date and go online to atheists.org for more information. And thanks for having me on the show, Kevin. I really appreciate the time you've let me speak.
Oh, that's no problem, David. The pleasure and the honor was all mine. And there's already some Christian cults out there calling that August 17th date the next end of the world. So how apropos.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. So maybe we'll have it. Oh, so now it's going to be an end of the world atheist convention. There you go.
Before I let you go, David, can I ask you a small favor?
Sure.
Can I get you to say, hi, I'm David Silverman, president of American Atheists, and I took a left at the Valley.
Hi, this is David Silverman from American Atheists, and I took a left at the Valley.
And that was David Silverman. What a guy. God, I love talking to this guy. I just love his passion. I just love the way he's in your face, and he's not apologetic about it at all.
Yeah, it's super that you had a chance to do an interview with him. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah,
hey, you did a good job interviewing
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that was incredible, yeah.
It was fabulous.
Please. Enough of the accolades.
And just the fact that you met him is pretty cool, like that was live right here in the studio.
Oh, yeah. No, not so much, but that's okay. Oh, well. Oh, goodness. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being on the show. And
another fun show as always.
Another fun show as usual. And I can remind everybody you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at LATV Podcast. You can follow us on leftatthevalley.com. Coming up, we actually have, we'll be talking about St. Paul with our friend David Fitzgerald. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the month, we have the Satanist just in time before our Halloween episode.
Interesting.
Yes, of course, we'll have the our friend Dr. Randy Tyson and Christina from our friends at the Legion of Reason podcast. They'll be joining us to do, like we did last year, ghost stories around the fireplace.
Nice. There you go.
We also have a show with our friend Aaron Ross come back on the show. He's talking about his book. And we'll be talking about also with the Facebook atheist Damien Mary at Hope. That should be interesting as well. And we'll be heading into the holiday season.
Oh, the time is going so fast.
I know. It just flies, doesn't it?
After high school, it just...
I can barely remember high school now.
I remember high school as much as I want to forget it. It's still, still parts of it haunt me in my dreams.
Nancy, my dear, happy birthday again.
Oh, thank you.
And if you want to send your birthday wishes to Nancy, make sure to write at leftatvalley@outlook.com. If you want to send your complaints, send them to Nancy at leftatvalley.com.
That's right. At this age, I can handle it all. No problem.
Guys, thank you so much. Until next time.
Hate science promotes mystery. I'd rather seek the truth than to bask in my own ignorance. Rather be alone than surrounded by damn idiots. As long as there's a breath in my body, you can bet your last dollar I'll be working hard fighting this problem. Religion is a disease. It comes from culture. Only true on a regional scale. Science is universal. Were you to say that Horus isn't real, but Jesus is, or Zeus, Thor, Mithra, Vishnu, you don't believe in them? I think the reason is apparent. You do what you're told and believe in the God assigned by your parents. I'm proud to be an atheist, a skeptic, a non-believer, an infidel, a heathen. I call it how I see it. I say it's ignorance and you just call it faith and unsubstantiated claims. That's something to be ashamed. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist. Now let me take a sec. Don't mean to sound so hateful, but I swear to God, pun intended, I find it disgraceful that thousands of children are raped by priests, and since they're holy men of God, they get away scot-free. And the Pope does his very best to keep it on the hush. Don't wanna affect business, he loves money too much. We know that they love the kids, but how the fuck can we protect them while they planning to molest them? We teaching them to respect them.
Fuck that.
The system is broke down, working backwards, and the only action or tactic I plan to practice now is to attack them. The parties of God's hands are bloodstained, millions of murders by believers, and they're all in God's name. And let me take a sec, don't mean to sound so hateful, but I swear to God, pun intended, I find it disgraceful that many atheists are told to be quiet. You're not alone, speak your mind, time to let it be known. I'm proud to be an atheist, a skeptic, a non-believer, an infidel, a heathen. I call it how I see it. I say it's ignorance and you just call it faith and unsubstantiated claims. That's something to be ashamed. I'm an atheist.